get worried to what are these words are. Okay, they are just simple and straightforward. So when you look at the similarity, when we say two figures are similar in nature, meaning that they do not need necessarily to be of the same size, but they can be of the same shape, okay? So when I get this box here, you discover that this box here is a cuboid, okay? And when you get, I get this another one here, it's also a cuboid. So these two, they are not the same, are 6 faces. Even this one has got also 6 faces. But when you look at the size and the shape, quite all right, they are different. So they are similar in nature, okay? That is what we call similarities. Now when it comes to congruence, when two figures are congruent, meaning that they are exactly the same. They are the same in size, even the shape. Okay, so when I get this box of chalk and this one here, you discover that these two, they look exactly the same. Therefore, this one is congruent to this one because they are of the same size, they are of the same shape. Okay, even the angles, they are also the same. The length, they are also the same. Therefore, these two are congruent. So do not do vice versa to say when they are similar, meaning that we are talking like this. No, similar meaning that they are different sizes, but same shape. Congruence, same shape, same size. Okay. Now, under application of ratio and proportion, we shall start by looking at the scale on the map. I'm sure all of us, we know what a map is. For those that are taking geography, even though that did social studies when they were in grade 8, on the ground that it represents, okay? Meaning that if we have got Zambia here, for example, you cannot recall a map, okay? Even when you take, for example, a house, you cannot get the whole house, you draw the big house on the piece of paper. You discover that it won't fit there. But what we are going to come up with there is just a map, a figure that represents the whole thing. Okay? Now, in order to make the map of Zambia to fit on the piece of paper, we use what Zambia or any other map, you discover that there is a scale there. That scale is there to tell you to say, from this distance, represent this distance in actual ground. Okay? Now, a scale, it is represented in this form, A to B. So it is represented in what? In a ratio form, where A and B, these are numbers. Okay? And this scale is called representative fraction. The scale here, which is A to B, or you can say A over B, is RF. Okay? So when you check there, for example, you have got 1 over maybe 10,000. So this is a representative fraction, meaning that 1 centimeter on the paper represents 10,000 centimeters on the ground. Okay, 1 centimeter on the paper represents 10,000 centimeters on the ground. Now, when you check here, I didn't say kilometers here, meaning that we have the same unit. So it is 1, meaning that 1 centimeter, then 10,000, which is 10,000 centimeters. You cannot have ratios with different units. So if you have got a different unit, you have to change so that you should have the same unit. Now, one thing that you need to know here, when you are drawing on a piece of paper, you are trying to put something here on a piece of paper. Whatever you are drawing on a piece of paper, it must be in centimeters. Okay? Then on the ground, you must do it actual in kilometers, because you cannot say, I have to measure here the centimeters on the ground. Surely, from here, to Livingstone. Then you say, I have to write it in centimeters. You will discover that the figure will be very big. So when it is on the ground, you have to do it in kilometers. If it is on the paper here, you have to do it in centimeters. So once you have been given something in centimeters and the other one in kilometers, you have to convert the one which is in kilometers to centimeters. Then thereafter, you can convert it back to kilometers. Okay? So, how would you convert it if you have been given something in kilometers to centimeters? Very, very important. You discover here 1 centimeter or 1 meter. If you get a ruler, 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. What about 1 kilometer? So 1 kilometer is equivalent, okay, to 1,000. Okay, which is what? Centimeters, because we need all of them to have in centimeters. So this one, here we say in meters, not kilometers. Therefore, for us to change it, centimeters or kilometers to centimeters. So 1,000 times 100. What did we get here? 1,000 times 100, we get 100,000. Which is to 100,000 centimeters. While 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. And 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. So these units are very, very important because we shall be using them in order for us to change it from kilometers to centimeters or from centimeters to kilometers. Okay. So when you are changing it from kilometers to centimeters, like the way it is here, you have to multiply by what? By 100,000. But if you are changing from centimeters to kilometers, you are supposed to divide by 100. So the first example here say to 1,500,000. Mutintam that it is 9 centimeters. Kawe. So we know that the representative fraction, which is RF, is 1. Okay, I'll write it here. 1 to 1,000,000,500 on the paper here on the map is equivalent to 1,500,000. So for us to find the distance, okay, MD, which is the distance on the map, GD. Okay? So we can say RF, which is a representative fraction. To say the distance on the map is 9 centimeters. So we shall write this one, the one that we want to find. Okay? So the representative fraction. The representative fraction, 1,500,000. Okay? So this one can be 1 over 13 million. 500 in centimeters. Okay? So I said it in the beginning to say, whenever you have been given or you have, so this one that we have found here, which is in centimeters, and this is the arc. So whenever you are changing from centimeters to kilometers, you divide by 13,500,000. Remember, 1 kilometer is equivalent to this one, and this one, this one, and this one. What are we remaining with? We are remaining with 135. You have to convert. You are supposed to solve once you have been given a question like this one here. Okay. Let's go to question number 2. The question, I'll be able to revisit the same question from what we have discussed. You need to use what we call a scale. Okay. So what we have been given there is GD. So we shall write it again. B. MD, which is the distance on the map over distance on the ground, which is GD, is equal to representative fraction. So we have representative fraction here is 1 over 1,500,000. Okay, like this. So here, first thing first, what we have here, it is in kilometers. You cannot just get this one in kilometers and you start putting here. You have to convert this one, which is in kilometers, to centimeters, so that you should have the same unit as we are solving. So how are we going to convert that one, which is 600 kilometers? So 600 kilometers, from kilometers to centimeters, you multiply by 100,000. So here we are going to multiply by 100,000. So once you multiply here, 600 times 100,000, we get 60 million. Now this 60 million is in centimeters. So 600 kilometers is equivalent to 60 million centimeters. So we shall use this one, which is in centimeters, okay, and put where there is the distance on the ground. And the distance on the map, we do not know. It's the one that we want to find. So we have here distance on the map over distance on the ground. We have, which is 60 million. Okay, is equal to 1 over 1,500,000 here. As usual, if you have been given something like this one, in order to find the value of DM here or MD, we say MD here, you have to cross multiply like this, okay? So MD, here you can even put any variable. You know, a variable represents any number. Okay, MD times 1,500,000, we are going to have 1,500,000. Okay, 1, 2, 3, like this. MD is equal to 1 times 60 million, you are going to get 60 million. In order to find MD here, we have to divide both sides by 1,500,000. 1,500,000. Here, 1,500,000. Okay? Like this. So that this part here will cancel. What I'm going to remain with is MD, which is the distance on the what? On the map. So when you divide here, 60 million divided by 1,500,000, you are going to cancel this one. You cancel the number of zeros. So you are going to remain with the 600 divided by 15. So you get your calculator, 600 divided by 15. So we get 40 centimeters. So this 40 centimeters is the distance on the map, while the actual distance on the ground is 600 kilometers. Okay, so even if you wanted to draw it on the map, make sure that you have to use the scale that you have been given. And this scale, which is the representative fraction we have been given here, which is 1 to 1,500,000. Okay? So once you have been given distance on the map, and you have been asked to find the distance on the ground, this is the step that you need to follow. First, you have to find the distance on the ground in centimeters. Then you convert it into kilometers. If you have been asked to find the distance on the map and the distance on the ground you have been given in kilometers, you have to convert it from kilometers to centimeters. Thereafter, you'll be able to find the distance on the map because you have the same unit by then. Okay? So this is how you're supposed to do. When you have been given distance on the ground, this is what you have to do. When you have been given the distance on the map and you have been asked to find the distance on the ground, this is how you're supposed to do. What if you have been given the distance on the map and the distance on the ground? How are you going to find the representative fraction? So this is this question here that we have. Okay? So, Italia measured the map distance, which is MD, between Lusaka Airport and Chipata Airport, and finds that it is 10 centimeters. The GD, or the distance on the ground, is approximately 600 kilometers. Calculate the representative fraction. So meaning that here, we have been given the distance on the what? On the ground, which is 600 kilometers. And we have also been given the distance on the map. Because this girl here, she has found the what? The distance on the map. She has measured it. I'm sure you were doing it when you were in grade 8, 9, when you were looking at geography grid reference. Under grid reference, you were asked to find the distance. You were even using a string to find the distance. So here it is a question, how are you going to find it? Okay? It is not difficult. Because we know that the distance on the map there is 10 centimeters. And the distance on the ground there is 600,000. And representative fraction, it will be always be 1 to a certain number, meaning that 1 unit. Okay? So let me rub here. Okay. So what we have been given is the distance on the map and the distance on the ground. And the representative fraction is like 1 over x. We do not have. Okay? So this is the one that we have to find. So in order to find this one, remember this one is in kilometers and this one is in centimeters. So we have to convert this one, which is in kilometers, to what? To centimeters. So that is the first thing that you need to do. So you convert it where you have 600 kilometers. I'm sure we did this one, which is equal to 60 million. Okay? Then we'll write our formula, which is the distance on the map, which is map distance over ground distance, is equal to 1 over, we do not have. This is the one that we have to find now. We can put a letter here, which is x, or we can put y. Okay? We shall substitute. What is the distance on the map? 10. Over, what is the distance on the ground? We have 60 million. Okay? Is equal to 1 over x. We cross multiply here. 10 times x, we get 10x. Okay? So in some cases, you might be given the